Wizards has designed many multiplayer mechanics for Commander, and some of them are really, really fun. I want to talk about my favorite, but before that, I want to talk about a few that I don't think are very good and why I think they're not so great. Let's start with the Monarchy. Originally from Conspiracy 2, the Monarchy is an ability that when it enters the battlefield, a player becomes the Monarch, and then they get to draw a card on their end step, and the only way to remove the Monarchy is by hitting them with a creature. The idea of the Monarchy was to have it bounce around the table, as players will just hit the player that didn't have the Monarchy, take it, draw a card, and this would speed up casual games by encouraging combat damage. My problem is, I've almost never seen this play out like that. Yeah, occasionally, but usually there's two main things that happen when I see the Monarchy. Either they're a dedicated Monarch deck with something like Queen Marchesa in the command zone, where they pillow fort up. They play all those Ghostly Prison, Norn Annex type effects, and make it impossible to attack them, and then they just have a card advantage engine that you can't remove. And those decks are fine. I don't want to disparage anyone who likes playing that type of deck, but I don't think that they speed up casual Commander the way that it was intended to be so. The other thing that happens when I see the Monarchy is usually someone plays it because they just have some random Monarch cards in their deck. They draw one card, and then the archenemy, whoever's really far ahead, will just take the Monarchy and hold on to it because they're already ahead on board, and just draw a bunch of extra cards and snowball away with the game. It usually never ends well for the person that plays one random casual Monarch card. And that's my issue with the Monarchy, is it's not very interactive because the best way to play around it is just to pillow fort up, and you can't remove the Monarchy at all, really. And it usually just kind of slows down the game, unless it's letting the person who was already ahead just steamroll everybody. And in 1v1 formats, it has caused a lot of issues in Pauper and Legacy because it just wasn't designed for that, and honestly, I don't think it ever should have been legal there. But at least the Monarchy is simple. The Monarchy token itself could easily be replaced with anything else, or if one player has one, they could just pass it around the table. Unlike the Initiative, I'm really not a fan of the Initiative. This is another multiplayer focused mechanic that I think failed to speed up casual games as intended. Same thing where when you play the Initiative, one person gains it, and then it's in the game for then onward. If you're not already in a dungeon, it places you in the Undercity, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, if you still have the initiative, or whenever you gain the initiative, you then travel through the dungeon. The problem with this is it's not as simple as the Monarchy. You need to have the dungeon card to keep track of where you are because there are multiple paths and many effects. But not only that, because if I'm not playing any initiative cards, I might not have the Undercity dungeon, so if I hit a player who has the initiative, then I'm going to need my own of this token, even though I don't have any of that card in my deck. At least they make an oversized one, which makes it somewhat easy to have everybody put dice on, but it's so tedious. I really hate these outside the game mechanics. The new ring mechanic is kind of like this as well. I really hope they stop doing this. But the initiative is also like the Monarchy in that you just pillow fort up and grind for value, except this one has like an ultimate ability at the end, so it's kind of even worse than the Monarchy in terms of the ability to just block up attacks and then sit and wait for your value. Plus, the initiative has caused even more issues in Legacy and Pauper and really caused a lot of disruption to those formats. That's why I think the best multiplayer mechanic is actually Goad. This also was printed in the same set as the Monarchy and does everything the Monarchy tried to do, but better. And I think Wizards of the Coast agrees with me, since they made Goad an evergreen commander keyword. So Goad is an ability where when you goad a creature, it has to attack next turn, but if possible, it has to attack someone other than you. This means in 1v1 formats, it's just a forced attack, which isn't super powerful and won't be causing a ton of issues there. But in multiplayer, it ends up being pretty good because it's a force attack that has to hit an opponent. Goad has so much utility. You can goad an opponent's small creature that has maybe some useful upside, and then they have to attack with it, and it can be easily blocked and dealt with. Or if your opponent plays something huge and threatening, instead of removing it, you can just goad it, and then your opponents are going to have to take a ton of damage. Goad really does speed up games as well. There are so many games where I see players able to hit someone for chip damage, a little 5 here, maybe 6 damage here, 3 damage there, and they just don't because they don't want to make enemies or whatever reason. But that really does slow the game down, and goading people just forces them to go, well, I have my 6/6, I gotta swing in, I might as well hit you since you're open. Boom, 6 damage, speeding up the game real quick. And unlike the Monarchy or Initiative, where I do think you want some Pillar Fort or maybe Blink effects to recur and regain those abilities and actually like synergize them, you can add goad cards to your deck without a ton of synergy and they'll still be good. Cards like Shiny Impetus are really excellent at just getting extra damage in, but also giving you treasures, and you don't need a ton of support for that. You can just play the card in almost any red deck and it's pretty decent. And if you want to go all in on goad, there are so many great goad commanders. Cross if you want to go counters, Bjorna if you want to go artifacts, and my personal favorite, Grenzo. I've been playing a Grenzo goad deck for a while now, and it has become one of my favorite commander decks I've ever built. If you want to see a video on that deck in particular, let me know in the comments. So that's my sales pitch for why goad is the best multiplayer mechanic and why you should add it to your decks. Let me know if I've convinced you to try out some goad cards in your next commander game, and if not, do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, subscribe for more.